I'm staring at my own bank statement from 11 months ago, and I see a number that makes my stomach drop: $0. That's right, I had no emergency fund, no savings, and no cushion to fall back on. And to make matters worse, I was living paycheck to paycheck on a $44,000 salary. But then something clicked, and I realized that I needed to make a change. I started by tracking my expenses and creating a budget that actually worked for me. It wasn't easy, but I managed to build a $10,000 emergency fund in just 11 months. And today, I want to share with you exactly how I did it. If you're struggling to make ends meet, or if you're living paycheck to paycheck like I was, you know how stressful it can be. You're constantly worried about when the next bill is due, or how you'll pay for unexpected expenses. But having an emergency fund can be a total game changer. It's like having a safety net that catches you when you fall. And the best part is, anyone can build one, regardless of their income or financial situation. So, let's get started. The first step I took was to assess my financial situation. I made a list of all my income and expenses, and I was shocked to see where my money was going. I was spending way too much on dining out and entertainment, and not enough on savings and debt repayment. So, I made a plan to cut back on unnecessary expenses and allocate that money towards my emergency fund. I started by setting aside just $100 per month, but as time went on, I increased that amount to $500, then $1,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. How did you manage to save so much money on a $44,000 salary? Well, it wasn't easy, but I found ways to make it work. I started by cutting back on expenses like dining out and subscription services. I also started cooking at home more often, and I even took on a side hustle to increase my income. And let me tell you, it was worth it. Having that emergency fund in place gave me a sense of security and peace of mind that I'd never experienced before. But here's the thing, building an emergency fund isn't just about saving money. It's also about making smart investments and taking advantage of high-yield savings accounts. I opened a high-yield savings account that earned me a 2.5% interest rate, which is way higher than the average savings account. And I also started investing in a tax-advantaged retirement account, like a Roth IRA. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I don't know anything about investing. Don't worry, I didn't either. But I learned, and you can too. One of the biggest challenges I faced when building my emergency fund was staying motivated. There were times when I felt like giving up, or when I wanted to use that money for something else. But I kept my eyes on the prize, and I reminded myself why I was doing it in the first place. I wanted to have financial freedom, and I wanted to be able to take care of myself and my loved ones. So, I kept pushing forward, even when it got tough. Now, I want to ask you a question. What's the biggest debt you're currently facing? Is it credit card debt, student loan debt, or something else? Share with me in the comments below. I read every single comment, and I want to hear your story. As I continued to build my emergency fund, I started to notice some pretty significant benefits. For one, I was able to pay off some of my high-interest debt, like credit card balances. And I was also able to take advantage of investment opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise. It was like a snowball effect, where one positive change led to another, and another. But here's the thing, building wealth and achieving financial freedom isn't just about saving money and investing. It's also about managing your taxes, and taking advantage of tax-advantaged accounts. I started using a tax planning strategy that saved me thousands of dollars per year, and I also started contributing to a health savings account, which is a great way to save for medical expenses. If you're struggling to get started with building your own emergency fund, I want you to know that you're not alone. Millions of people have been in your shoes, and they've come out on top. You can too. Just remember to start small, stay consistent, and be patient. And don't be afraid to seek help and advice from financial experts. As I look back on my journey, I realized that building a $10,000 emergency fund in 11 months wasn't just about the money. It was about the sense of security and peace of mind that came with it. It was about knowing that I could take care of myself and my loved ones, no matter what life threw our way. And that's something that I want for all of you. So, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. It tells me to keep making content like this. And if you know someone who's struggling to build their own emergency fund, please share this video with them. They might just find the inspiration and motivation they need to get started. In my next video, I'll be sharing some advanced strategies for investing and building wealth. It's called How to Invest in Index Funds for Beginners. Make sure to check it out, and let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I'd like to share another example of how having an emergency fund can be beneficial. Let's say you're faced with a sudden car repair that costs $1,500. Without an emergency fund, you might have to put that expense on a credit card, which could lead to high-interest debt and a long repayment period. But with an emergency fund in place, you can simply withdraw the $1,500 and cover the expense without going into debt. This can save you hundreds of dollars in interest payments and give you peace of mind knowing that you can handle unexpected expenses. In fact, according to a recent survey, 64% of Americans don't have enough savings to cover a $1,000 emergency expense. This is a staggering number, and it highlights the importance of building an emergency fund. By having a cushion of savings, you can avoid going into debt and reduce your financial stress levels. Another strategy one used to build my emergency fund was to take advantage of windfalls. For example, when I received a tax refund of $2,000, I immediately put it towards my emergency fund. This helped me boost my savings and get closer to my goal. I also made sure to review my budget regularly and make adjustments as needed. This helped me stay on track and ensure that I was making progress towards my goal. It's also worth noting that having an emergency fund can give you the freedom to pursue new opportunities. For instance, if you've always wanted to start your own business, having a cushion of savings can give you the confidence to take the leap. You'll know that you have a safety net in place, which can help you navigate the uncertainty of entrepreneurship. In addition, building an emergency fund can have a positive impact on your mental health. Financial stress can be overwhelming, but having a safety net in place can help you feel more in control and secure. According to a study, 75% of people who have an emergency fund in place report feeling less stressed about their finances. This is a significant number, and it highlights the importance of building an emergency fund for both financial and mental well-being. Furthermore, I'd like to talk about the importance of automating your savings. By setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account, you can make saving easier and less prone to being neglected. For example, you can set up a transfer of $200 every 2 weeks, which can add up to $5,200 per year. This can help you build your emergency fund over time, without having to think about it. I'd also like to share a comparison between different types of savings accounts. For instance, a traditional savings account might earn you a 0.1% interest rate, while a high-yield savings account can earn you a 2.5% interest rate. This might not seem like a lot, but it can add up over time. For example, if you have $10,000 in a traditional savings account, you'll earn $10 in interest per year. But if you have $10,000 in a high-yield savings account, you'll earn $250 in interest per year. This is a significant difference, and it highlights the importance of choosing the right type of savings account for your emergency fund. Additionally, I'd like to talk about the importance of avoiding lifestyle inflation. As your income increases, it can be tempting to inflate your lifestyle by spending more on luxuries. However, this can prevent you from building wealth and achieving financial freedom. By avoiding lifestyle inflation and directing your excess funds towards your emergency fund and investments, you can build wealth over time and achieve your long-term financial goals. For example, let's say you get a 10% raise at work, which translates to an extra $400 per month. Instead of spending that money on luxuries, you could direct it towards your emergency fund or investments. This can help you build wealth over time and achieve your long-term financial goals. In fact, if you invest that $400 per month for 10 years, you could potentially earn over $100,000 in interest, assuming a 7% annual return. This is a significant amount, and it highlights the importance of avoiding lifestyle inflation and building wealth over time. It's also worth noting that building an emergency fund is not a one-time task, but rather an ongoing process. As your income and expenses change, you may need to adjust your emergency fund to ensure that it remains adequate. For example, if you get married or have children, you may need to increase your